अफसोस है कि ये पहला हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान मैच है जो मैं कौमी जिम्मेदारियों की वजह से ग्राउंड में नहीं खेल सका, लेकिन मैं तमाम ट्रैफिक को इस्लामाबाद रावलपिंडी हदायत की है कि कंटेनर हटा दिए जाएं ताकि कौम अपने जश्न को तारीखी तरीके से मनाए और पाकिस्तान की टीम को, पाकिस्तान की कौम को मुबारक हो। आज हमारा फाइनल था, हमारा फाइनल आज ही था।
October 24th, India and Pakistan met in Dubai for a face-off in the World Cup T20 tournament. India was defeated in that match, and post the match there were a couple of reactions that we thought it would be important to discuss. One was, of course, the interview with the Pakistani captain post their victory, in which the interviewer asked the captain that Kaffur toot gaye. And the captain, of course, said this was all God willing or God's will. And subsequently this created a lot of outrage on social media for the simple reason that it was a deeply offensive comment. It was a comment made on a platform and by the captain of the winning team. It was certainly in poor taste and made absolutely no sense as to why religion had to be brought into the game. That was one point. The second, of course, was these firecrackers that went off in different parts of the country, and this was rather disturbing, and these were shared on social media. In fact, Virendra Sehwag tweeted, "Firecrackers are banned during Diwali, but yesterday in parts of India there were firecrackers to celebrate Pakistan's victory." Acha, they must have been celebrating victory of cricket. So what's the harm in fireworks on Diwali? Hypocrisy क्यों? सारा ज्ञान तो तभी याद आता है. So this was Virendra Sehwag's tweet that has gone viral. As of now, it's been retweeted 23,000 times, which goes to show just the kind of support he's enjoying for this particular tweet. Subsequently, Pakistan's Interior Minister also took to television and lamented the fact that he could not be personally there for the cricket match because of government duties, etc., etc. However, he opined that all of Islam, or people, followers of Islam, were celebrating this win of Pakistan over India, including Muslims in India. So there you have it. Unfortunately, religion has been mixed into the game of cricket, and not by trolls, but by people like the Pakistan cricket captain, a broadcaster who is broadcasting out of the stadium, as well as Pakistan's interior minister. So let's discuss this on The Hub, our new platform which brings our viewers onto the platform to discuss issues of the day. Hello and welcome to The Hub. It's our new platform that we started here at Kahalli. And what we're really going to do is engage with viewers, experts, people who watch our shows, who want to contribute to the conversations and have something to say about the issues of the day. So we'll have the Sunday Club on Sunday, and we will have The Hub, where we'll bring on people who are like you, like me, who watch, who have opinions and want to share them. So I'm delighted to be joined by two such people today. There is Arun Krishnan and Rajat, who is still setting up his camera as we speak. So we're going to give him a few minutes. Oh, here he is. Great. So Arun, let's start with you. You asked for this. When I tweeted about this, you said, this is something that I want to come on and talk about. So what riled you up about the match yesterday? I mean, are you being a spoilsport because India lost, so you're just upset and you need to like vent your angst at someone?
Okay. I'm actually not upset that India lost yesterday. Frankly, the better team won. And even while the match was going on, I had tweeted that it looks like Pakistan is playing with a lot more intent, and it didn't look like the Indian team was going to win. So for a cricket fan and somebody who actually follows the game, has followed it for a long time, it was pretty obvious that Pakistan was playing a brand of cricket which was far superior yesterday to what we were playing, and no issues at all about them. Babar Azam played beautifully. I really, even though we were at the receiving end, I thought those two deliveries by Shaheen Afridi to get rid of Rohit and Rahul were just stunning. They were like almost Wasim Akram-esque. So no issues with that at all. What riled me up was actually this morning when somebody drew my attention to a question that Bazid Khan, one of the commentators, asked Babar Azam about this whole kufr toot gaya, and the answer that Babar Azam gave. Um, the casual bigotry of it kind of offended me, because you know we live in an age where we all watch what we say, and rightfully so. There's a lot of I always maintain language, uh, as language grows, there are a lot of inbuilt biases of the population, right? There are very uncharitable
Yeah.
sayings in our own
Okay.
Indian languages about untouchability, etc., which if we were to use today, we would be pilloried, and rightly so. Whereas
Right.
here, seem to be almost a normal thing, is a casual thing. The word kufr, in my opinion, should be be placed at the same level as the N word. I mean, look at it. I'm not even able to say the N word here because that's
Yeah.
how unpalatable it has been made. I feel that the K word should be made as unpalatable as the N word because it is a pejorative term for non-believers in Islam, for Hindus and idolater and polytheists, etc. So all of these terms need to be, to be placed at the same level of unpalatability as, say, the N word, in my opinion.
Ajit, what about you? I mean, what was it that you wanted to say about this issue? Because you also immediately responded and said, "I have a lot to say as well."
Yeah, actually, my voice is there.
Yes, your voice is there.
Okay, so actually, this is, I mean, this is like a small puzzle kind of thing in a larger picture. Actually, it's not just one incident. It actually reflects the way a large part of Pakistani society is, and the way the state has shaped its thinking. Like every shapes the thinking of its people. Like nation states are a imagined identity. So, and
Hmm. Hmm.
the way Pakistan was formed, uh, uh, that this Pakistani cricketers reading namaz on cricket grounds, calling kufr, or such kind of things, that the intrusion of Islam by Pakistan, especially by Pakistani players and their politicians, in matters that are either secular or not related to it, is a result of the way in which Pakistani state has shaped its identity post 1947. And the other day,
Hmm.
Shashi Tharoor was also talking about, with Vikram Sampath. He said that in India, the history writing was taken as a nation building project. Now that is right.
Hmm.
So just like in India, Congress took up the history writing as a nation building project with their Ganga,
Hmm.
Jamna, Tehzeeb, and we were eating jalebi and biryani, and British came and divided us. So Pakistani state also shaped its identity in
Hmm.
the same way. But
But
then we know.
yeah, Rajat and Arun, this was not the case earlier. Like, even if you look at about 10 years ago, you would not hear something like this from a Pakistani cricketer. You may have had the captain growing his beard out and all of those things, and, those kind of visible symbols where in the past, Imran Khan, who's now the prime minister, was far from pious in any way. I mean, he was known for his lifestyle, flamboyance, relationships, and all of that. This is more of a recent development. I think Pakistan is increasingly kind of going on the side of the fence, so to speak.
Yeah. So I kind of slightly disagree there, Advaita. Um, and again, just to add to what he said, right? This use of the term kafir or kufr is not limited to Pakistanis, right? We have been normalized. Think about this song. What was that song? Uh, ढूंढती हैं काफिर आंखें किसका निशान ए हसीना जुल्फों वाली जाने कहाँ, right? That song
Hmm.
had
Hmm.
the term kafir being used in it, and it was almost as if we as a society had become inured to it. Maybe it had been used so many times that we never really wondered as to what it was. Why were we being called a kafir? Why is a kafir's aankhein, specifically looking for some nishan? So I think,
Hmm.
and there's an account called Gems of Bollywood, which tends to kind of trawl through a lot of Bollywood songs and scenes, and so it's not as if it's purely a Pakistani thing. To me, it's more of uh, a societal thing which uh, we were asked to accept, maybe, or we were conditioned to accept. And what you see
Hmm.
now is, because of social media, because of people sharing their thoughts, a lot of those are now coming under scrutiny from
Hmm.
even folks like me who've got a day job. It's not our job to really troll on things, but when you hear
Hmm.
something like that, and especially with all the wokeism and cancel culture, and then you try and equate that to what's going on in India, and somehow there is a disconnect, and that's what we were commenting on.
Yeah, and the other thing that kind of picked up some steam was, this taking the knee, wherein the Indian team went down on their knee. I think Virat Kohli today clarified that this was because BCCI had asked them to do that. And I also read that previously West Indies and England also took the knee. And this is, of course, for Black Lives Matter and in terms of solidarity with that. And one can understand racism is a very kind of visceral issue in their societies. And they had to make a point about that. The Indian team doing this has not gone down too well, with any sense. I mean, with any spectrum of the political. So you have the liberals saying, why don't you do this for Dalits and this one and that one, and then on the other side they're saying, why don't you do this for Kashmiri Pandits? Then there's another lot that's saying, you go woke, you go broke, and I mean, and Virat Kohli, of course, has been talking a lot about meaningful Diwali. And it's getting really noisy, right? The cricket is lost in all of this. Rajat?
Yeah, actually, if you see English Premier League, that English Premier League pushed this a lot, and in all matches, because it is the top league of England, so almost all teams will do it invariably. They're taking the knee, and because it's a very widely watched tournament, it has kind of in moved on to other sports, and ICC also has also taken up some, I think a year or some time back, this happened, that England West Indies match, and the English team denied to take the knee, and Michael Holding was angry,
Hmm.
that no, you have to show that you will not be racist, and that you're sorry for whatever happened. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think from the ECB it was said that no, we understand, and it's not important to show it, but we share that feeling. But then Michael Holding, being Michael Holding, he was angry, and
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
from then onwards, I think the ECB understood that because our football league also does it invariably, therefore we also have to do it, because we have to virtue signal. And so it has moved on to now cricket also. And Euro just finished, Euro 2020 finished in 2021. It was Euro 2020, some in July. And what happened was that in Poland, being that Christian conservative country, whenever Poland will play a match with this, maybe England or some other team, the half of the at the starting, the England half will be taking the knee, but the Polish guys will be, just twiddling their thumbs and, oh yeah, you guys do this, we are not interested in this. So it was kind of funny.
Even the Pakistanis didn't take the knee. They put their
Yes,
hand on
yes,
their heart,
yes.
right? They
No,
didn't. Yeah. So
I'll tell you what happened. Just when the opening batsman Rohit Sharma and the other guy, they moved to the pitch to start batting. Rohit Sharma approached that other guy, I think that Pakistani captain, and they two was talking about what was to be done. So the Pakistani captain just signaled something with his hands. Rohit Sharma understood. Okay, whatever was done. Then Rohit Sharma came back to the batting crease. He took the knee, and the Pakistani guys, they just kept their palm on their chest. And I wondered why that happened. I mean, if both had to take the knee, both have to take the knee. But then I understood that the way Pakistanis are not like this. They are very clear about their thinking. Maybe you
hmm,
don't like that thinking. Maybe you think they are too communal or whatever, but they are very clear, and I respect them for that clarity. And I think this woke business perfectly reflected in the way the Indian team took the knee, and the Pakistani team just, okay, just go away. We'll just do the minimum that is required. We don't believe in this, but then we have to play the match also. So this is what happened.
He's right
hmm,
about the lack of clarity, right? I think recently, a couple of days ago, I saw a clip between Harbhajan Singh and Shoaib Akhtar, where
hmm.
Bhaji said something like "हम लोग सब एक हैं" types, and then Shoaib Akhtar said, "No, हम तो two nation theory में हम believe करते हैं." So there's an absolute clarity on that side. I'm not saying we should be like that. We are not like that, so we shouldn't really let go of our own ethos to mimic them. With respect to this whole taking the knee business, I feel, look, you can, one way to look at it is say we are showing solidarity with all the African Americans and what they have gone through. The other way to think about it is, who has ever stood for us? Bangladeshi
Yeah.
Hindus are getting killed.
Absolutely.
Kashmiri Pandits have been driven out, genocided out of out of their land.
Hmm.
So who's ever taken a stand on our behalf? So if
The
we need to take a
BBC,
stand, let's do it for ourselves.
the BBC took a week to write about
Exactly.
the Bangladeshi Hindu issue. It took them one
Exactly.
whole week to even write about it. And this is a
Exactly.
news channel and it's supposed to be the gold standard in journalism. But they couldn't get themselves to even talk about the fact that Hindus are being persecuted in Bangladesh. So this is the double standards that they have. And
Yeah.
here, we are ready to kind of follow their
No,
tune.
but the point is, if we don't respect and stand up for ourselves, nobody else will. And which is why I was making a huge hue and cry on my small Twitter account today about this whole Kufr Toot Gaya thing. Because
Hmm.
if we don't
Hmm.
stand up and say that is unacceptable to us,
Yeah.
they will continue using it. Now at
Yeah.
least, hopefully, 10 people. There was some very, I had some very nice conversations where a Muslim gentleman, he might be Pakistani, I don't know, he said, oh, you know what, yeah, if the language offends people, then it's better to clean up the language rather than offend. And so,
Yeah.
there are people, reasonable people on that side.
On the other
And
side of the
hopefully,
aisle.
but we need to stand up and respect ourselves first as a matter of principle.
Absolutely. And I just want to repeat over here that this show is called The Hub. It's a viewers show. So we will be inviting viewers on to discuss different issues of the day. And, today is the first show, but we will continue to invite our viewers on to talk about these different topics and these different subjects. So increase our viewer interaction. And, the next question that I really want to talk about is this one. Should India have played Pakistan at all, given the issues at the border? As the match was going on, there was fierce fighting in Poonch. There have been martyrdoms in the last 1 month, and through the year, but in the last 1 month in particular, there have been killings in Kashmir, which have been obviously perpetuated by Pakistani proxies. So when we're not, collaborating with them on other levels, should we have played this match? Because now people are actually they were asking the question before the match, and post these kind of comments that have come out from the interior minister, Victory of Islam, from this captain and that broadcaster, that interviewer out of the stadium. Should we have played this match, Rajat?
Initially, before, like about a week ago, I thought that we should not play this match. But then I started following, some commentary regarding India-Pakistan matches, and one of the points that came up was, like, suppose we do not play the opening match, this 24th October match. Now, what if both of us qualify for the final? So will we change our stand? That no, because this final we'll play with you because we do not want you to win the match. Or we will have to maintain our stand of not playing and allow them a walkover in the final. So this is a tough choice to make, that you cannot be hypocritical and giving Pakistani cricket board the opportunity to stand up, given the condition their cricketing, their cricketing is in. I will not be willing to give PCB that opportunity. I mean, maybe people will not like that I'm hawkish, but these things are the way they are. I mean, it's not fair game. Pakistan does on international arena, on organizations lobbying in US with those organizations and all those things. That's not fair. That's not also fair. Uh, we know what organizations they do lobby, passing that condemnation bill in some city council in America. I mean, I don't know why they're so all these are Pakistani ISI and they sponsor. So it's not a fair game. So if it's not fair, so I will not be willing to give PCB that opportunity to stand up. Let their cricketing words suffer. Let their cricket suffer. I don't care. Maybe people will not like me. People will say, oh, this is just a sport. This is just a sport. But I don't think this is not just about sports. I mean, given the way Pakistani team and their manager and their politicians behave, with this Sheikh Rashid saying that victory was Islam. And remember that Sheikh Rashid guy also, that after Pulwama he said कि हम बम गिरा देंगे तो तुम्हारे मंदिरों की घंटियां बंद हो जाएंगी, something like that. He specifically mentioned the ghantis of the mandir. Then one more statement he made that after some time that ऐसे बम गिरा देंगे जो सिर्फ हिंदुओं को मारेंगे, मुसलमानों को नहीं मारेंगे, something like that. So coming back to the question, I will not.
And on the other hand, also there's been
I will play the match.
On the other hand,
sorry, can I just jump in here?
Sure, go ahead.
I've always been of the opinion that we should treat Pakistan like we treated apartheid South Africa. And so if you look at the second Modi government, the way the government has treated Pakistan is basically hands off, no people to people contacts, very minimal contact, even probably at the governmental level. None of this Aman Ki Asha stuff that used to go on under UPA. To me, we should, I mean, remember in 1974, we went to the finals of the Davis Cup and we withdrew. We didn't play South Africa because we were at that time boycotting South Africa. And it was okay. It was okay to lose that Davis Cup, hand over the cup to them because we stood on a principle. And I think I've always felt with our, the number of terrorists that country keeps sending into us, the number of our soldiers who keep getting, killed in action, I don't think we should be playing them, even if it means we lose and we return home from the World Cup without a cup. Rajat ji said, what happens if both of us make it to the finals? We withdraw, we don't play. We can squeeze the Pakistani board. Like Ramiz Raja said, 90% of the revenues comes from BCCI. So BCCI can actually squeeze the Pakistani board so much that they don't really get any revenue. So there are other ways to bell that cat, but I would never play Pakistan until and unless they stop, waging war against us.
But why do you think
I know that's a pretty hawkish position.
I know, but
So
why is the BCCI not doing it? I mean, if they are so cash rich and they're pretty much running cricket in the world, at least their pockets are, why are they not taking a stand on this?
I, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's more because of whatever. Again, it's the whole Aman ki Asha, uh, psyche that has probably taken over. We somehow don't know how to use power, even when we have it. But maybe Rajat ji has some
Hmm.
insights. I don't know. I often wonder the same though.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it. I'll concede that point about that we have other options to, squeeze Pakistan or its cricket board, and also that Aman Ki Asha thing is there, and I think that BCCI also earns a lot of money by playing matches with Pakistan, because it's a high voltage match. So I think they
Hmm.
are not willing to let go of the money also. If you are getting 100 rupees, why not get 110 rupees, something like that. पैसा किसको काट रहा है? So
Hmm. Hmm.
that thing is also there. So it's a mix of many factors. It cannot be just one factor. So I'll take that point. And
Hmm.
this comment is
Hmm.
also right. That
Makes
BCCI is a
it's a
private.
hmm. Hmm. I mean that, but the disturbing thing is, like already, there is we are so divided in our own society that we are equating now, and I must add this also, that Mohammad Shami has been trolled for yesterday's loss. I don't really follow cricket or watch cricket that much, but I believe he didn't perform too well yesterday. But then who did on the Indian side? In either case, I know Virat Kohli's been trolled a lot. He's a Hindu. Um, and I think Mohammad Shami has been trolled, and some of it was communal trolling. Mohammad Shami is actually trolled quite a lot. The last time he was in the news for trolling, it was Islamists who were trolling him, and now I think this now he's targeted with like things that are communal in nature. But our commentariat has equated something that anonymous rabbit trolls, which we all face, are doing with something that was said by Pakistan's interior minister, as well as Pakistan's captain, and that broadcaster from the stadium. So you cannot equate the two.
I,
Every society has reactionary people who say nasty things, and they should be condemned and dismissed and ignored. But when you have, people in positions of power, of influence, talking like this,
yeah,
shouldn't that be given more weightage?
I know exactly who you're talking about, and maybe it's not politic to take the name here, but somebody as senior in the journalistic profession equating dismissing what the Home Minister of Pakistan says, while at the same time giving credence to anonymous trolls, is just it it boggles the mind. I have no idea how you can even do that. Having said that, I think I have seen way more tweets in support of Shami than I have seen those that have trolled him. Honestly, I mean, ex cricketers,
Hmm.
everybody on my timeline at least, or maybe I'm just following the right people. Everybody on my timeline has been super supportive of the Indian of Shami,
Tendulkar
and
also.
while we
Tendulkar
have
tweeted
we
that way.
yeah, but we have not see Virat Kohli has copped some of the fiercest knocks after
Yeah.
yesterday, right? In terms of team selection, etc., etc., etc. So it's not. I don't think it's a communal thing. I think it's deliberately being made a communal thing, and in that sense, we need to figure out who gains by it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll like to come in on this. Yeah,
Sure,
please
Rajat.
go ahead.
No, Rajat, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I think this issue of Shami has been exaggerated, mainly to divert that attention from the firecrackers, that Pakistani minister thing and everything, because you have to
Hmm.
create a bogey so that other things just go off. And that is why, Rana Ayub also commented and Baraka Dutt also commented same thing. Whenever Rana Ayub comments something, again, you can understand why it is done. Uh, and even if somebody has commented like that for Muhammad Shami, I think we should condemn it. I think he's a very nice guy. We have never seen him uh, do anything which will dislike in public. He's a very nice guy. He has some personal issues with his family and everything.
No,
And regarding that, Indian team went to Sri Lanka tour some 2-3 years back, and the Indian team went to, I think, Ashok Vatika there. And then Shami also went there along with the team and when he went there, and I think he shared that we are at Ashok Vatika where Sita ji was there, and then he was attacked by Islamists that you are doing
He gets,
idolatry and all those things.
in fact, Shami gets attacked more by Islamists than
Yes,
he does
yes.
by, if you look at his trolling history, and I have to say he's one of the cricketers who's trolled a lot, as is Virat Kohli. I think these two are trolled quite consistently, but mostly he is trolled by his co-religionists of the more extreme kind.
I admire Shami. He plays with a lot of gut and conviction. And anybody who thinks that he lost that match just because it was against Pakistan is kind of mad guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's completely condemnable. Yeah, first of all, he's an Indian, and we should not be trolling somebody on the basis of caste or religion or whatever. I don't care what caste or religion or anything. He plays for India. He pulls on an India cap. He plays with a lot of pride.
Yeah.
He's an absolutely wonderful ambassador of the game and of our country. And I think but I agree with Rajat ji. I think it's a red herring meant to distract attention from other events that are going on.
The cracker bursting. Actually, I think Virendra Sehwag was quite kind of forthright about it, right? Because you didn't, I don't think anyone anticipated. Of course, there was a tweet that went viral. I think it was Aviral who posted it. Was the video of allegedly of the Seelampuria, which saw the riots last year, and there were crackers, and there was a proper like fireworks display, like the entire sky was lit with this fireworks display. So it wasn't discreet. There wasn't like a pataka here or there. And
no, but this is not new, right? It has always happened. I mean, I grew up in the east and in the north, and I have seen this happen. And in those days, we used to lose a lot to Pakistan. I'm talking about the 80s, the Sharjah days. The patakas used to happen all the time. It's just that social media has amplified it, and somebody as as popular as Virendra Sehwag calling it out, I think the time has come to call it out. And I think I admire and appreciate Sehwag for calling it out without. And if you read the tweet, it's actually, he doesn't call out in a communal manner. He just says, if bursting Diwali crackers for this is okay, why can't we do it on our festivals? So there is a link. So he's very, very careful about how he did that. And I think that's the right way to do it. Yeah.
And Rajat, what do you think? Go ahead.
Yeah, regarding that, the way Sehwag framed his words, I think he framed those words perfectly, because he said without saying it openly. And everybody who reads those words will understand what he's saying. So that was smart. Like, he was a smart cricketer, so he chooses his words wisely. And regarding that crackers thing, Arunji is right. Pardon?
And then he started getting trolled.
Yeah, see, it is social media.
Could
He'll
you hear
be trolled. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, he'll be trolled. My voice is there. My voice is there.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so he'll be trolled.
Yes, go on.
Yeah. So regarding the crackers thing, Arunji is right. In 90s, we used to go in our summer holidays to our Mausiji's house in some old part of the city, and old part of the city has more Muslim population. And in those days, Pakistan was a very strong team. I mean, it was very invariably it was given that India will lose with Basim Akram, Waqar Yunus, Javed Miadad, and all those players,
They were
Akib
really
Javed,
one
Sakir.
way.
Huh. And especially in Sharjah and with the umpires like maybe Shakur Rana or somebody like that, we are sure to lose. And when we used to go to our Mausiji's place in that old part of the city, they have a big veranda in the middle of the house. The house is very big,
आंगन होता था,
and
हाँ आंगन, हाँ.
yeah, we used to play cricket in that veranda. It was open, and whenever that every evening used to play cricket, and whenever the India Pakistan match was there, supposing we have gone there and the India Pakistan match is there, it was told to us that do not play in that open veranda because the stones will come from the main road, and if it hits your head will go bust. And because it doesn't matter whether India wins or Pakistan wins, the stones will come. And we used to wonder why will that happen. If India wins, people must be happy, all people must be happy because we are Indians, so everybody must be happy. But if Pakistan wins, who will be happy? uh, I don't think they should be happy. This was our thinking back then. We did not understand partition and what our secularism, whatever that is. But then those memories are there in my mind that this is mid 90s, early to mid 90s. And but when I for the past 10 years, when I try to understand the Hindu Muslim relations, about the debate about secularism and all those things, I kind of recall those incidents that used to happen when we used to go to our Mosiji's house. So and if anybody says that this is recent, this is not recent. It's an old phenomenon. Maybe it has reduced because of the advent of social media. It used to happen a lot. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Arunji will be able to tell us more about it. So this is what it. So it has been my personal experience. I mean, anybody can say that, oh, you're saying that out of your biases, you are bigoted, and all those things. No, I will stand by what I've experienced personally. We were told not to play in that open veranda, so because stones will come. So that's it.
I know it's I think, but then I think do you think social media also plays a double role? Because on one side you are actually basically bringing to light or bringing to notice something that has gone on for decades. This sort of celebration by certain sections. I wouldn't even say by the entire community or by the everybody, but
Oh,
certain
no.
sections have been doing this. But by highlighting this, then do you think we are kind of creating more divisions in society, or is it important to confront that this happens and kind of bring it into the public discourse like we're doing right now, talking about it?
Um, I think, look, social media is so my firm belief is you shouldn't sweep things under the carpet. A lot of our issues over the years, since independence at least, is because we have tried to keep away from conversations which we think are uncomfortable, and which will lead probably to hurt feelings on one side or the other. So I think that's and if you, I'm sure you also had a chat with Vikram Sampath and with his book and all. So the issue is we've never had that kind of a truth and reconciliation kind of committee that, let's say, South Africa had. So sweeping things under the carpet is bad because I hate mixing metaphors like Bernard Woolley, but if you sweep things under the carpet, then they're liable to blow up at some point someday. So it's better to have things out in the open and have a robust discussion about it. And so social media does play that role. Obviously, there's a flip side to it. It can inflame passions a lot as well. But as long as you're able to have a reasonable discussion around it, I don't think there's anything wrong in talking about these things. Things like just I asked my elder one, my daughter today. I said, so do you know about the Hindu Kush mountains? She said, yeah. I said, do you know what that means? She said, Hindus living in, a meditating place for Hindus. I said, no, it means a Hindu killer. That's what Hindu Kush means. And she had no clue. She was aghast. And she said, they never told us that. I said, yeah. So either, you teach people, the kids are smart. They will figure out, and it's not necessarily that they're going to go out and suddenly start rampaging through the streets, but they need to know what is what. And I think it's good to have a discussion.
Yeah, to have an open discussion about it. Of course, there's always that risk of trying to create victimhood, even when the subject of the victimhood is not looking at it that way. And in the last, I think, 10 days, we've seen this happen with two Indians that, are people who are loved and followed, Shah Rukh Khan and Mohammad Shami. And, they have been hijacked and made into Muslim, figures
Yeah,
who are facing.
Shah Rukh wouldn't have become this big a star. Sorry to interrupt, Advaita. Shah Rukh wouldn't have become this big a star without the Hindus supporting him and really being in love with him, right?
Absolutely.
Neither,
Absolutely.
and so this, the pulling out of this victim card. Although to be fair, he hasn't done it.
He's not
It's
done
just
it.
other people, other folks doing it on his behalf, and neither has Shami done it. It's other folks doing it on their behalf. So I think it's more of,
And look at the fields in which that they have succeeded. Bollywood and cricket. These two are like a religion in India. Millions and lakhs, and I have associated with the film industry, so I can tell you, people, zindagi khapa dete hain to get into films. Kuch bhi mil jaye, kahin bhi mil jaye, kaise bhi mil jaye. It's that sort of a thing, and they have achieved such heights in these professions. So
and
I think
that reflects on, that reflects so well on Hindus as a society, right? We are in, 80% of our country is Hindus, but we don't really look at religion when we when we talk of, when we
when
make
you know
somebody a
someone, yeah,
superstar. Yeah. So
yeah,
we've had presidents, we've had prime ministers from the minority communities, we have had chiefs of air, air marshal, air chief marshal, chief of the navy, we've had chief justices who are, so to me, we get dinged unnecessarily. I think we have a lot to be proud of, and given that open society that we have. So I'm very positive, net positive on India. So
well, yeah, I am too, and I feel like open conversation, no harm in that. If we could take a knee for Black Lives Matter, then I think we can, of course, talk about the fact that kufr toot gaye is not the kind of
not
discourse that is
acceptable. No.
acceptable. And I think it was Abhijit Iyer Mitra Rajat who pointed out in that tweet, and he made a list of all the brands that were behind on that hoarding. There was, I think, Byju's and a few more names, but I remember Byju's the most. And that's I think the brands are having a hard time nowadays because they're getting highlighted whenever they're associated with something like this.
Regarding this Kufr Toot Gaya thing, I think the point is to dismiss this as a bigoted word or something. That's fine, but you have to also tell it to the people that why it is bigoted. That you should not sweep it under the carpet. That okay, just because we'll be in a hard place, so let's whitewash that, like we have been whitewashing. So some like Swati Goel Sharma, I think, also commented same thing, that just like jihad means struggle, internal struggle for good and all those things. So you should not dismiss something by calling is that this is good. You say that it is bad because it is bad, and you tell people why it is bad, why it is bigoted, and then you dismiss it, because then it will educate people more. And the same thing, I think, one of the RJs, I don't want to take her name here, one of the radio jockeys, she released a video 2-3 years back, I think, explaining what is the meaning of jihad. Like, people do not have access to the literature, and she is the supreme authority, and I think people know whom I'm talking about. So that kind of whitewashing should not be there. It's the same whitewashing which has been done with our history. You would have read that West Bengal, that famous Shuddho Ashuddho, that circular thing and all those things. So that whitewashing should not be there. And
See,
there was one more thing I wanted. Please go ahead. Yeah.
no, Rajatji, please finish. I didn't mean.
Actually, I missed the one more point was there. Please go ahead. I'll recall that later.
Yeah. So the point about this is, right. So somebody was arguing with me saying, "Oh, there is a context in Arabic. This could mean this and this could mean that." And I was trying to tell them it doesn't matter. The people at the receiving end of this are the Hindus, who have traditionally been called kafirs in a derogatory, pejorative sense. So I don't care what the etymology is in Arabic. If we feel, right, you wouldn't go to an African American and try and explain the etymology of the N word to him and say, well, no, actually it comes from Greek and it refers to the skin color only. And so there are no pejorative terms there. No, he will laugh you right out, or he'll, whatever. So to us who are on the receiving end of it, kufr is unacceptable. Kafir is unacceptable. Heathen is unacceptable. Infidel is unacceptable. Unbeliever, idol worshipper. These terms are unacceptable, and we need to stand up and say it. We have just been too wishy-washy and nice. Okay, let's all sing Kumbaya and get along. Sometimes you just have to take a stand for your own self-respect. And I think you can't normalize the usage of these terms. You know what? You're in an Islamic country and you use it with your neighbor. Great, please go ahead and do it. Don't do it on an international forum.
It's like the N word, right? African American people use that with each other. They have it in their music.
Yeah, with each other,
but
exactly.
If you want to communicate with each other in the use of that term, please go ahead and do it. But nobody else has you cannot subject someone else to that, or really kind of bring that into the.
There's a very nice scene, I think, in one of the Rush Hour movies, Jackie Chan and Chris Rock, where Chris Rock uses the N word with his gang, and Jackie Chan he starts using it, and then they all like turn on him. Yeah, it's not okay for you.
No way you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, people in the US, politicians, public figures, they've lost careers because of this. Entire careers because of this. So that's how seriously it's taken.
Think of it as somebody had mentioned. Supposing we use the word pariah in an Indian context, or an untouchable, we would be excoriated, and rightly so, correct?
Yeah,
you would lose your job if you ever did things like that. But somehow kafir and kufr is okay. I don't get it. And I think, and I'm not saying Bazid Khan used it in that manner. It's just that it's so comfortable, that language itself.
Bazid Khan was the interviewer.
He's the interviewer. He was the commentator as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know who he was.
So he had used, I think for them it was like just an idiom that was to be used. But I am trying to say that we need to educate people behind what this idiom means, right? It probably has something to do with, iconoclasm and breaking of idols. And so your run of bad luck has stopped when you can go back to breaking idols, in a sense.
Yeah.
So that's what's behind it. And we need to make people aware of it, and then tell them, you know what, it's not acceptable, not anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, there was one I think web series of Dia Mirza some years back. Z News, I think Z5 had commissioned it. That was the title of that web series was Kaffur. You can find out. Dia Mirza was there. And coming back to that point about social media, whether we should, what has social media done? I missed that point. So I think people say social media is divisive, but I feel that social media actually gives people to talk about things without, maybe revealing their identity. Maybe they'll say things which are uncomfortable, which they do not want to say in their personal lives. So just because I have some issues with some, say, X group of people, I will not go fight with them personally right now. But in on social media, I'll say that, look, this group of people does this thing, and it will become a topic of conversation in public domain. But that doesn't mean that I will go and fight, because I don't want to, I don't want to fight daily. I want to go on with my life. They also go on. They also want to go on with their life. So I think people blame social media that it divisive and everything. I think social media only brings out what is already there. The thing is, the point is, we have made yeah.
No, go ahead. Go on. Finish.
Yeah, I think we have made I think we have made a rosy picture of our society, and when social media shows a lot which goes contrary to that, we try to dismiss it as hatred or something like that. I don't think it. Some of them do it deliberately to create division and all those things. But I think that this criticism is not justified a lot. I mean, beyond a certain point. Yeah, please go ahead.
No, I think that's true. However, I have to admit that often I find social media so toxic, that everything is about an outrage, and the really important conversations don't happen on social media. That I've become quite convinced about. I think people basically stick to their camps and then go and then just follow that path. But anyway, I mean, it's been a great conversation, and it's so nice to actually meet you all. I know you all on social media, and finally we get to meet like this and discuss
Thank you
something
so
that
much.
I hope you enjoyed this experience, and you'll come back again and not
Sure.
not run from the from being on YouTube or any of those things. Rajat, you want to say something? I feel like you want to say something.
Yeah, I think I was pretty nervous. This is the first time I'm talking to somebody. I was pretty nervous, so I think this was a good conversation. I thought I will not be able to speak for 5 minutes on on topic, but I think I did a decent job. And yes, regarding that camp thing, no, you said it divides people in the camp.
Yeah.
I missed that. I think we should finish. I think I should say something about that also. I think. I think I think what has happened is we have used wrong terms to fix people in certain places. That this is LW, this is RW. This is
Hmm.
so. What happens is people, you have not talked to that person. You don't know how that it is. You don't know what values he believes in. But because he votes for X party, so he's L, X wing. He does not vote for X party. He's that wing. So he must be believing in all those things which I associate with that wing, and that guy must be believing in all those things which I associate with that wing. So this is the kind of this is why there is so much divide. If you try to understand that people have nuances on various issues, this,
Absolutely.
this division will not be there. And I think this 240 characters or 280 characters, whatever it is, that format is divisive. If we have conversations, long form conversations like this, people will understand that nuances, and maybe they will not agree with my point, and they will later concede my point. And maybe I will not agree with them in the beginning, and I will concede their point later when I converse with them. So this conversation, this long form conversation, is more important than the saying 10 words about some people, and this is toxic and that is toxic and this is that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it has got more about with the language and the kind of medium that we use.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and Gayatri wants to know if we've discussed that taking the knee. Yes, we did. Right when we started the show, we talked
Yeah.
about that wokeness. So we've already talked about that. You'll have to rewind a little bit to get to that part of the conversation. But thank you, both of you, so much. This was the debut episode of The Hub. And thank you for reaching out and saying that you want to be on the show. I always want to invite guests with different viewpoints from different, thought processes and fields of life, because it just makes conversation so much more interesting rather than
And
just
if you recall, I had told you that I'm not an expert. Or I don't feel like an expert on anything, so I
expert
can't
on
really come
anything.
up with
Yeah. Yeah. But see, then that's where you have to learn from AIM and Suhail. They're not here, so I can badmouth them. But But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. We've had a great first show and we've had nice viewers on it. So I think this is working well for us. And
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
I just thank you once for joining me on this important subject. Share, subscribe, and continue to tune in. And of course, if you'd like to join the conversation on the hub, then please drop me a message, tag Kahalli now, because I'm trying to spend less time on social media because I am a writer originally, so I need to write and not be on social media. But so do tag Kahalli on social media at Kahalli now if you'd like to be a part of more of our shows. And I hope to do this as often as I can whenever there's a hot burning topic, and bring our viewers into the conversation and not just in the comments section. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you soon. Bye.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Advaita.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Rajat
lot.
ji.
Bye. Bye. Yeah. Bye, Arunji.